Terri Irwin, AM, is an American-Australian naturalist and author, the widow of Australian naturalist Steve Irwin and owner of Australia Zoo at Beerwah, Queensland, Australia. She co-starred with her husband on the Crocodile Hunter, their unconventional television nature documentary series, along with its spin-off series, Croc Files and the Crocodile Hunter Diaries. She has lived in Australia since 1992, when she married Steve Irwin. Early life: she was born Terri Raines in Eugene, Oregon, the youngest of three daughters of Clarence and Judy Raines. Her family was in the trucking business. During her childhood, her father constantly brought home injured animals from the highways on which his trucks traveled. This eventually instilled in her an ongoing commitment to saving and rehabilitating wild animals. While working in the family business in 1986, she started a rehabilitation facility called Cougar Country to re-educate and release predatory mammals such as foxes, possums, raccoons, bears, bobcats, and cougars back into the wild. Soon she was handling 300 animals each year. Career: she joined an emergency veterinary hospital in 1989 as a veterinary technician to gain further knowledge on the care and support to all kinds of animals. Her life was very busy, as she was still helping her father run the family business, rehabilitating animals through her Cougar Country, and working at the vet hospital. In addition, she had 15 cats of her own, several birds and a dog. In 1991, she went on a tour of Australia, and while visiting wildlife rehabilitation facilities, she had a chance meeting with and was charmed by Steve Irwin, whose father had owned the Australia Zoo. A whirlwind romance followed. They were engaged after only 4 months, and 8 months later, on June 4, 1992, they married. Their first television documentary was filmed on their honeymoon. The footage, shot by John Stainton, became the first episode of The Crocodile Hunter, which later became successful in the United States. The couple settled in Australia, Terri leaving her Cougar Country project behind in the United States. However, as a partner in their wildlife enterprises and television shows, she believes she was able to do far greater work on behalf of wildlife conservation. In addition to their 2 popular television programs shown on the Animal Planet television network in the United States, in 2002, the Irwins released a feature film, The Crocodile Hunter: Collision Course. In an interview before the birth of their second child, Terri Irwin had this to say about her marriage and working with her husband Steve. "We don't drink, we don't smoke, and we're actually in love and happily married. We love our little girl, we go home to each other at night, and we believe in what we are doing. Say my husband had a dangerous job and I wasn't with him. I don't know how you go, oh honey, how was it with the police department today? You got all your fingers and toes today? It would scare me. I'd have to become a police officer and work with him. I couldn't do it." Widowhood: Terri and her children were reportedly trekking in Cradle Mountain, Tasmania, when her husband Steve died on the morning of September 4, 2006 after sustaining chest and heart injuries from a short-tail stingray barb which pierced his heart. He was filming an underwater documentary at the time at Bat Reef near Port Douglas in Queensland. In her first statement since her husband's death on September 4, 2006, Terri announced the Australian Memorial Service on September 20, 2006, at Australia Zoo in Queensland, would be open to the public, and that people who wish to attend should make a donation to Irwin's Wildlife Warriors Fund. The service was held at the Crocodile, a 5,500-seat open-air amphitheatre, which Steve built at the zoo and which Terri chose over any larger facility. She also thanked well-wishers for their overwhelming outpouring of love, support and prayers for her family. Terri herself was seemingly too upset to speak at the ceremony. She remained with her young son, Bob, during the proceedings, but her daughter Bindi spoke about her love for her father, for which she received a standing ovation. Australian TV network Channel 9 screened an interview between Terri and local presenter Ray Martin, on Wednesday, September 27, at 8:30 p.m. on the station. During the interview, she said, "And I'll make Australia Zoo bigger. I'll make it bigger. Because I promised. Barbara Walters announced on The View she would be holding an exclusive interview with Terri, which aired September 27 in the U.S. On October 31, 2006 she was invited to the Royal Albert Hall to award a special recognition award to Sir David Attenborough at the British National Television Awards. When she came on stage, the entire audience gave her a standing ovation out of recognition for her bravery in light of her husband's death. She fought back tears in appreciation of the British people, while the camera cut to Neighbours star Alan Fletcher, who was shown to be fighting back tears also. She cited Attenborough as a great inspiration for her late husband, saying, "If there's one person, other than his father, who directly inspired my husband, it's the person being honoured tonight." And going on to say, "Steve's real, true love was conservation, and the influence of tonight's recipient in preserving the natural world has been immense." Attenborough reciprocated by praising her husband for introducing many to the natural world, saying he taught them how wonderful and exciting it was. He was a born communicator. On January 3, 2007, the only video footage showing the events that led to Irwin's death was handed over to Terri, who said the video would never become public, and noted her family has not seen the video either. In a January 11, 2007 interview with Access Hollywood, Terri said all footage has been destroyed. On March 2, 2008 it was announced that Bob Irwin, father of Steve Irwin, had resigned from Australia Zoo, of which he was the founder, in order to keep his son's dream alive on a different property with his wife. In a statement to the press, the elder Irwin thanked the staff for all their help but made no mention of Terri whatsoever. At the same time, the zoo was being sued for $2.5 million by a debt collection agency, but the lawsuit was later dropped in an out-of-court settlement. Conservation support: Terri Irwin has expressed support for the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society and was present at the launching of one of the organization's vessels, which was renamed after her husband. Honours: in 2006, Irwin was made an honorary member of the Order of Australia for services to wildlife conservation and the tourism industry. Australian citizenship: Terri Irwin, an American by birth, became an Australian citizen on November 15, 2009 in a tribute to her late husband Steve. The citizenship ceremony was held during the Steve Irwin Day celebrations in the Australia Zoo's Crocodile. References. External links. CrocodileHunter.com.au. The Irwin's website, The Crocodile Hunter, Animal Planet. Crocodile Hunter, Terri Irwin at the Internet Movie Database, Terri Irwin interview, Animal Planet profile of Terri Irwin, Australia Zoo.